143. That's love. But today is 314, and it's 8 o'clock. I mean, it's almost 7 o'clock, and we're a little late. Yeah, if it was 8 o'clock, we wouldn't have to turn the lights on, but we do have to turn the lights on because, where are you going? It's still dark out. Steve's ready. I'm not, though. All right, I got him hooked up, laying down on the job. What I mean by I'm not ready is I haven't studied the weather maps enough in 1, 2, 3. Third month, 14th day, 3/14, 39 degrees. Jacqueline Thomas pointed out it's Pi Day. Pi, you remember from mathematics, 3.14, used to measure all kinds of perimeters and diameters and circles and circumferences and the circulation of everything has to do with circles. What is time? It turns in a circle. Standing still is a circle. But you take the circle and move it through time, it becomes a wave. That's what I'm trying to say. And the wave lined up last night that the Earth passed right between the sun and the moon. It was a total lunar eclipse. But you could still see the moon. Thank you, Jacqueline. And David Weaver in New Hampshire, where the sky was clear enough for a beautiful view of the moon. I got up at, I don't know, it was about 2:40. I think Rex woke me up. And I went outside, and I could see the eclipse happening too. It looked like it was about 3/4 a shadow at that point. And even at the total eclipse, you can still see the moon because there's enough light in the atmosphere. It kind of bends around the Earth. And unlike a solar eclipse where your moon is backlit, this is kind of frontlit. You know, if you ever do videos, backlit, it can be blinding. So that's what happens. That's my explanation. So it's just about 7 o'clock, and the crew is going to be here any second. And I'm not ready to do the entire weather forecast because I didn't get up until about 20 minutes ago when T-Rex woke us up. But I'm looking off to the distance here, and the wind is from the northeast. Now, as the sun went down last night, I zoom in so I got to talk louder. As the sun went down last night, we were calm and we were radiating, and I thought maybe there was a slight chance there would be some ice in the bucket. But the temperature reversed as the wind picked up and the clouds came in. So there's no ice in the bucket, not anticipating any ice in the bucket, maybe until next winter. I'm sure we'll get some kind of glaze in that bucket. The guidance has really gone kind of wonky on what's going to happen next week, but this weekend is still pretty straightforward. The temperature this morning starting off 37 in Boston, and note that Burlington, Vermont, with a wind from the south, opposite of what's happening here in eastern Massachusetts, is also 37. And then in between, there are a bunch of spots that are in the 20s, 20 to 30 degrees, so there was some radiational cooling. So we have different forces pulling at New England right now. We've got that storm that came into California 3 days ago. Yesterday I said that was south of Nantucket, but it was actually a wave ahead of that. Today that storm from California 3 days ago really is south of Nantucket. And it's the reason that on Cape Cod the wind is gusting 15 to 25 miles an hour from the northeast. That's a 10, 12 millibar low. And our high pressure system seems to have slowed down and strengthened to about 10, 26 millibars. So that's the reason for the wind from the northeast on Cape Cod and the islands. And then there's another low out there that's tracking well to our west, and that's the huge storm in the middle of the nation. And that's going to induce the wind from the south. And the wind from the south is going to take over, and we are going to warm up that northeast wind. We had so much of that during the winter, but so many days it was dry. And I think we're dry today and tomorrow. Forecast has really gotten better for tomorrow. And Sunday, still about the same. And then some wholesale changes for next week. All right, so the crew's going to be here in a second. I'm going to go in and regroup and come back outside momentarily. The crew will be out in the yard and finish this. And 25 minutes later, the sun is up. There it is over there. Front door. Flowers getting taller. Not in bloom. So we go out the back door. And one of the reasons I started this whole out the door weather and more thing was just because Rex loved to run out the door. Then Steve loved to join us. And it was usually peaceful in the backyard, and the only noise was sort of the wind and maybe a boat or a plane. Things have changed, though. That's we have to adapt to change, right? So the crew got here right at 7 o'clock, and today probably is the last day with the movement of the stone. So they're raking out the stone. You can see some gravel there, and the goal is to have grass growing within a few weeks, and we'll get the right weather for it. Why don't I just come over here in the corner? I got my noise canceling lav on, but we can just stand here and do the forecasts. We get photobombed by sparrows and birds flying by, which I love. So the system's taken off, the one south of New England. I looked at the lightning plot. I'm like, wow, look at that. Another storm out there over the ocean, missing New England. And that's forecast to chase the one that went by with our surprise snow from yesterday, which is out there deepening rapidly. And things look really interesting over the Western Atlantic next week. Not that they've been boring. I mean, we've had 4 bomb cyclones in the last about 4 weeks or so. And I think 4 of them were within about 10 days. And we still have abundant cold and warm clashing. As a matter of fact, it's warm enough that there's going to be a couple of major severe weather days. Today is going to be a major severe weather day. And those storms fire up over the west side of the Mississippi River, and then tomorrow they fire up on the east side of the Mississippi River. The first batch that fires up today will miss us as they decay and race into Ontario, and the second batch is going to get us with the remnant rains on Sunday night. So that's a high confidence forecast. Advisories, watches, and warnings. You can kind of make out a gap between the storm that came in and dropped several feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada. That's now moved into the Rockies. Winter storm warnings in effect in Colorado and New Mexico and Utah. And then another batch of winter weather advisories on the West Coast at the higher elevations, winter storm warnings. And then in the middle of the country to the east of all this, all that red, high fire danger, and the gold would be the wind. So we may get into the wind warning department or advisory department by late Sunday. And also we'll probably get into some elevated fire danger here as the ground is very dusty, even though we've had abundant rain. It's going to get windy with the dew point still fairly low. Today the wind is going to kind of shut down. This northeast wind is going to shut down and come around from the south tonight. And so we are on the last legs of some cold air advection that's going to return as warm air advection with a couple of warm fronts going by. Let's check this out. All right, so he's just dumping some more of that stone right there. Break it out one after another. All right, so let's just go to the GFS now. GFS is really wonking out after about day 4. It means completely different than yesterday. But the next 3 days are fairly straightforward, looking pretty nice for skiing here with nice classic spring conditions today and tomorrow. The wind is going to pick up from the southwest tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be strong enough to cause any wind hold problems there. The Sap Run and all the spring festivities, Wildcat and all the ski areas should have a really good day tomorrow. And then the weather goes downhill on Sunday, but only slowly. The wind is going to be a factor by Sunday afternoon, and melting snow, slush in the lift lines. There's going to be no refreeze tomorrow night, so that means slushy weather with the wind picking up, gusting past 50 even at the coast, and the rain comes in probably about 4 p.m. 21Z is 4 p.m. Heavy rain, a stripe of rain, maybe some thunderstorms, moving from west to east. So in any one spot, the rain only lasts about 12 hours, and then it pushes off probably about 4 o'clock off the east coast, Cape Cod and Maine, 4 o'clock Monday, St. Patrick's Day. And note that low kind of stalls out there. A new low is going to form on the front and almost falls south. That's interesting. That could be widen it out here. That could be a sign of some blocking that's going to cause real problems next week. Live and in Technicolor, stomping the stone. How I'm going to bury a flagpole in that. It's going to be quite the project. All right, pick it back up now next Tuesday. This next storm coming out of the Midwest, one that's not even onshore yet, is going to drive way to the north. So this makes a lot more sense than what we saw yesterday. So here comes the warm wind again after a cool down Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday is going to turn a lot warmer, back into the 50s and very windy with rain mostly to our north. And then we're going to have a negative tilt trough developing over the Midwest coming into New England on Thursday. Look at that. Yesterday it had snow, and now today it has dry to start off the day in eastern New England with temperatures in the 60s. And then the front comes in late Thursday. Of course, it's a Thursday. Thursdays have been the toughest call, and that's rain changing to snow is now what it says on Friday, even in eastern New England. And it's a windy, cold Friday. We've had so many windy, cold Fridays in a row. That could happen again next week. So time out. Today, technically right this second, it is kind of windy and cold on a Friday. but nothing like the last 6 Fridays in a row. If you've been watching the weather rhythm with the Thursday storms and the Friday winds, that may return again next weekend or next week. So let's go back, pick it up late Friday. And you see the 516 blue line. That's the almost Arctic air, but very cold air and a hard refreeze coming in. Boston may actually get to 32 next Saturday morning. And some snow, elevation snow. And it looks like quite a bit of elevation snow, actually, if this works out, which I doubt this is going to work out. I mean, if it didn't work out from yesterday, why would it work out from today? But the point is, there is going to be a serious cold front coming in, and it will turn more seasonable around here next weekend. And now we take it out to Sunday, March 23rd. We're past the vernal equinox, and there's another storm in the 980s right in the middle of the nation with more snow and wintry weather in the west, and we would be kind of cool or seasonable and dry with perfect spring skiing. That's the perfect spring skiing is when it gets down into the 20s at night and up into the 40s by day. That's ideal, and we could have some of that going on again next weekend. So we'll see. I know a lot of people are going to hang up the skis and get out the golf clubs, and the kids have the different sports, the lacrosse and all that starting up now. So times change, and we usually run out of skier enthusiasm before we run out of snow. All right, that's the end of the weather part. Probably about an inch of rain this weekend, and the ice jam in Montgomery, Vermont, that Josh pointed out last week did break up, and so you got a channel for that water to move. So the ice jam threat could be over in areas that it moved, but if you still have some ice on your rivers, especially northern Maine, that hasn't moved yet, then ice jam is a threat this weekend, along with some pretty deep puddles. But the snowpack is becoming ripe, so the snowpack is going to start shrinking. Josh also shares with us the crews up there in the highway department getting ready for the melting and the rain. They pushed out the snow, that real deep snowpack there, away from the drainage on the sides of the roads, trying to prevent the 242 from flooding. So that's going to be happening in a lot of northern New England with the melting, and especially late Sunday into early Monday. But enjoy your Friday and Saturday. Josh also has content. He says corn sledding yesterday. He and Chance getting fast on that steep slope in his backyard where there's still a good amount of snow to have fun on. So it's sugar season, sap season. Sap is running. The sun just got to the top of the flag. They're a little bit giddy over there. I'm not sure what's going on, but happy crew. It seems like they're either laughing or smiling. And he saw me with the camera. He's like, no, thanks. You just back right up, TK. So the M-More yesterday, we're going to take a break from showing all the construction. I have a little time lapse of a bulk carrier going by yesterday morning, and I chased it. I chased a bulk carrier underneath the Fore River Bridge, and so that was kind of fun. So that's going to be the M-More, more of a chase, and it was really fun hanging out with you, Brandon, and doing the forecast for Wildcat for tomorrow. Look at the birds in there. What are they doing? Well, it is mating season after all, TK. That's what we do, the birds. All right, here's to the M-More from yesterday. 10:44, March 13th. It's Thursday morning, and I can't even get the 3-hour forecast right. Thought the low clouds would come in off the ocean, would have a mostly gray day. And obviously it's not mostly gray. Get some altocumulus waves, some cirrus up there. That'll be the warmer air trying to come in over the top of the colder air. And there are some lower layers out there of altocumulus. That'll be the colder air trying to come in. Big X up in the sky, condensation trails overlapping. We've got an incoming tanker. And look next to the tanker, you get the ferry and 2 tugs. It's kind of cool. All kinds of construction equipment in the front yard. Backyard. And let's do a time lapse of that tanker coming through and the construction ongoing. All right, I just looked up the ship. It's Patagonia, registered in Singapore. It's called a bulk carrier. By the look of how low it is, there's a lot of bulk on there. It's 580 meters, 580 feet, 180 meters. And I wonder if the bulk it's carrying is road salt. Do you know that most towns ran out of road salt this winter? It was so icy there in February. So we can actually go and watch and see what gets unloaded from this, I think, over there in Quincy Shipyard. Let's do that today. And also monitor the construction. Pretty close to the end game. Question is, what are we going to do with those bushes? To save them or not to save them? That is the question. Let's see if we can catch it. Yeah, I know. All the lights are on. Before the bridge goes up. Maybe watch it go by underneath. As we go by our staging area for the Weymouth Big Dig. Still no sign of those pylons moving. Those pylons right there. Okay, so this is the Fore River Bridge on Route 3A. And it's a, I don't know what you call it, elevator bridge? Something like that. And it goes up. Should we get to the other side of it? Why don't you go up from the other side and see if we can watch that tanker go through? Yes, we should. And you'd think I'd know the technical name for this kind of bridge, but there's weights and cables, and the whole span just goes up all together. And the ship is over there, Patagonia. And I can show you where the pile of salt was, down over there, all winter. It's depleted. Oh, there's still some salt there. What are they talking about? They said all the salt was gone. So, there is salt. Should it snow or ice again this winter? Which is highly doubtful. But not out of the question. All right, we beat the ship under the bridge. We went over the bridge, and this is where the salt piles are. And I heard it was all depleted a couple weeks ago on that incredibly icy week we had. But you can see it's been replenished if it was completely depleted here. So bring on some more snow and ice. All right, let's go watch the bridge go up. There's a ship right there, so I don't know. Maybe the Patagonia will go next to it, between that and the Salem that's right there. And you remember that temporary Fore River Bridge? There it is, I think. If anyone needs another temporary bridge, call Cashman. And then this is Nichols Landscape right here. We're in Quincy. When I went to high school, we got in trouble, even arrested if we had cannabis. And now you can buy it right here, actually on both sides of the Fore River, along with Lobster. And there's the traffic waiting for the bridge to go up. Watch from beneath it. No matter how big your machine is, someone else has a bigger one, right? Wow. Look at those. Oops, that was just blown off. Yeah, I'm sure they're really happy about you just walking around with their equipment. Do you know who I am? See the weight coming down, the bridge going up. Cool, huh? Heavy duty. Everything's heavy duty around here. They have to torque it. They're gonna pull the bow, port, stern, starboard. wait for that for a second. Another tanker, probably an oil tanker or gas, something like that over there. And then you see this building on the pier that was in Chatham on Cape Cod for decades when my father was a boy. Coast Guard garage or whatever. And Cashman stored it down on the Cape for a while, and they said, oh, you gotta move it out of here, so he brought it up here. I think Cashman was pretty much the wheeler and dealer, and he's just sitting on it right here, or it's sitting on his pier. Been there for about 3 years. Just never forget when it floated by the house a few summers ago. Alright, where were we? Oh yes. Bulk Carrier Patagonia, coming underneath Fore River Bridge here, looking over towards Weymouth. We're on the Quincy side. And so far it's been about maybe 10 minutes that the bridge has been up. It's big. Everything's big. The bulk carrier is 180 meters. I think that was 580 feet. Which way are you going now? Ship is safely under the Fore River Bridge. Should start coming down any second. Traffic backed up on both sides. Cold day. All right, the bridge just started coming down. 7 minutes and 5 seconds into this video. And so it's been coming down for 155, 2 minutes. Counting. Straight on parallel parking. There we go. Where's the gate? There. Is that it right there? Nope, I was right the first time. There it is. All right. So the light should turn green now. My fingers are turning blue. Those high clouds are moving from left to right. You can see a vehicle right there moving. Jet plane, no condensation trail. Condensation trail. It's like a quiz. All these things. Little barges compared to a massive bulk carrier. You can see those cranes there. There's an operator room for the cranes that they're going to be unloading. And then you can see one of the buckets right there. Go down into the hold and pull out what I'm guessing is more road salt, which is mined in a lot of places in the United States. I think the one source is Kansas, Illinois, there's some in New York, mostly old dried seabeds, yeah, pollination. You also get it from desalinization plants. Alright, I'm freezing. This video is long enough. And more and more and more. Well, that's not a vehicle, that's somebody that's transporting their goods manually. And it's so funny that I'm happy that I'm just allowed to walk around down here. Probably officially trespassing if anything goes wrong. But so far so good. Everything's going okay. That's just about into position. All right, let's go back to the Weymouth Big Dig. We'll revisit this a little later maybe and see what they're unloading. High clouds moving to the right, low clouds coming in. Time lapse bonanza today. Oh wait, I just spotted something else. Look at that, iridescence off the sun. Refraction of sunlight through ice crystals. Yep, just never ends. Oh, now that jet is leaving a condensation trail. Which I can't see through my polarized glasses. And the backup traffic still coming off the bridge. And on, no doubt. Also a bulk carrier. Different gauge stone now. Sure, why not? Mud down here. And a strato Q and an alto Q layer coming in off the ocean. 3 p.m. Birds are down in the bushes, which we still don't know if we're gonna get saved. And there goes Justice again. We saw Justice earlier. Tugboat, that is. And looks like all the gravel is in place now. From the loam and seating. The stairs are gonna be right there by the garden. And the cold air coming in from the east has brought in a cloud. So the forecast kind of worked out. Chilly, gray, Thursday. Oh yeah, Valentine's Day. That was a month ago, February 14th. And the sky has changed yet again. Those low clouds are gone. Still pretty cold. Feels like the lower 40s. And there are the maples. Oh, you hear that? Hawk. And I don't think it's gonna snow tonight. Hear that? That's a hawk. And so we get radiational cooling. Wish that hawk would fly by. Here, a red-winged blackbird. First red-winged blackbird of the season, I heard today. You hear mourning doves and automobiles. A long day of different kinds of edits, and including meeting with Brendan Diem, president of the Wildcat Ski Club, and the Saffron is in 2 days, which is now 1 day because this is yesterday, and more and more and more. Time lapse from Weymouth. Watch the snow melt real fast. Sky turned blue, sky turned gray, sky turned blue. It's all waves. What is that? Talk to you tomorrow. Moon's coming up over there. Oh, there's just somebody walking in the water, of course. Can't see the moon. We can see the sunset. And it's gorgeous. As usual.